Scorpio, let's see if I can do your reading. And let's see if this time, if it's not 50 minutes long. I'm trying to really keep them to 20. Because, you know, my time's valuable. So is yours. Sorry. How selfish of me to be thinking about myself, Scorpio. Alright. These are timeless readings, so they'll theoretically resonate with you at the time and place that you find them. And if they don't, then, like, don't listen to them. Plenty of tarot readers on YouTube. Also, plenty of other things to go do in the world. Like, go for a walk, go outside, call your good friend up. Those are all good ways of passing the time. What else? Oh yeah, use your discernment when listening to tarot readings because you know your life and your situation's best. You got it, right? So tarot readings are usually just for confirmation or for a little bit of guidance. Like, I'm reading energies and channeling, so the idea is if I say stuff and you're like, yeah, that's totally what's going on with me, then, and it, like, helps you kind of whatever, then that was great. I love that. Okay, I'm pulling from my Iris Oracle, my Prism Tarot, and I got Sitting on Top of the World, which I love for you. I got Take Up Space, Collaboration, and I didn't do a great job. Okay. Ignore me for now. And then pay attention to me again in a second. Ah, nice. Ooh, I don't like this. Very nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're done. Scorpio. I got Collaboration, 3 of Gems, aka 3 of Pentacles. The Emperor, Take Up Space. The Hierophant, Unlearn. Wealth, Master of Gems, King of Pentacles. Sitting on Top of the World from my Iris Oracle. Predictions of Growth. Yes, great. Curiosity, Novice of Clouds, Page of Swords. Charm, Apprentice of Raindrops, Knight of Cups. Master of Lightning, Leadership. Also King of Wands energy, New Ideas, Ace of Swords, and, Ace of Raindrops, Ace of Cups, Rebirth. I mean, dude, Scorpio, this is like a really fun reading. I mean, we got these 2 kings here, leadership and wealth. Who does not want to hear about stepping up into your leadership role and, like, being super wealthy? Scorpio, you were born for this. I love it. Also, I got these 2 aces, your rebirth and new ideas, all these fresh starts, all this great, like, beautiful kind of energy flooding in. It kind of feels like the rain is here, you know, with air and water energy, but, like, the rain is, like, one of those really beautiful rains where it's, like, it's been, like, a drought, and, like, the rain is, like, so welcome and so refreshing, and just kind of, like, cooling you off after, like, maybe a period of hardship. So I really feel that with those, of just kind of, like, breath of fresh air. And we got Charm, which is just, like, you're charming AF. Good for you, Scorpio. As well as you're just curious. And you're, like, on this kind of new path with this rebirth and these new ideas. And so you're kind of like, what's happening? Like, I'm excited. Like, I'm in, like, being in a brand new relationship type of thing where you're like, who is this person? Like, what are we gonna do next? Like, kind of like all that fun stuff. But it might not be a new relationship, but it might be. I mean, also, dude, of course, Top of the World. Like, I'm just excited about the cards that showed up for us. I'm a Scorpio rising. Collaboration. Sounds like other people are involved, which honestly always makes things a little bit more fun because, like, that's your happiest memories of life, right? It's not like the times you sat alone in your room, probably. Maybe a few of the times you sat alone in your room are your happiest memories, but more likely it's the times you were, like, hanging out with your friends and doing stuff together and making some magic together it's always more exciting. So it's really, really fun to see that as well. The Emperor, divine masculine energy. You kind of just, again, stepping up into this leadership role and kind of like not holding back anymore, right? Like, is again with like the rebirth, feels a lot like you are kind of like, you know what, I'm here and I'm on top of the world, like as in like I have this one life and I'm ready to not hold back anymore. Like I'm ready to just like embrace who I am, and I'm ready to take up this space in the world and not worry about it so much, like not playing small anymore and really stepping up into your own inner authority with these two. And then unlearn sounds like it's just like a peeling off of all that stuff that was holding you back, right? Like, again, with the new ideas and the rebirth energies, it kind of feels like, I like mentioned the drought and like kind of like that being refreshed, the breath of fresh air. Maybe that's what we call the reading, who knows, maybe we call it something else. But it really feels a lot like that maybe there's been limiting beliefs and that you're really kind of breaking out of them with the unlearn and with the new ideas and with the rebirth. Like you're having like a new understanding of the world, of more importantly yourself and how you operate, and like a better understanding of yourself, a more accurate understanding of yourself, a more authentic understanding, I think, based on who you really are, as opposed to all the ways you were conditioned. It feels like you're kind of breaking through from some like social conditioning. Let's read from the Hours Oracle book now that I've talked for 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Predictions of Growth, 36. I like to read from this because it kind of helps shape things sometimes. When we encounter a change, sometimes it feels like a shock to our system. Look further in this moment, you know that it's time to grow taller, to move forward. Our transformations, although they feel uprooting, even deepen the roots with our knowledge of ourselves. You are growing and your buzz will bloom in the summer light. What did I literally just say? It's just saying the things that are already true about you, Scorpio, which is like, you're not going to hold back anymore. Sitting on top of the world, you made it. Bam. You are on top now, looking down. Don't all of your struggles look tiny from up here? Dang. Enjoy this time of success and empowerment. And remember, next time you have a stress that makes you feel like it will be the end of the world, think back to this time. Think back to all the struggles that brought you to this place. And if you are in the place where you are dealing with many difficulties, which it doesn't sound like you are, it sounds like you're kind of in the space where you're breaking free of all of that, think back to the last time you felt like you were on top. If you were there before, you can be there again. I mean, this did have a little bit of a tower element to it, but I think, it sounds kind of like there's nothing necessary. I hope. Again, these are just me reading cards and energy, but it doesn't sound to me like there's anything traumatic happening so much as maybe you're just having a breakthrough. Also with the rebirth, and I was talking about rain, like kind of, it's sort of like just, there's a click, right? I mean, I feel like it's just this movement that's coming from a lot of effort in the past. Unlearn, right? So it feels like Scorpio, I mean, also you're a Scorpio, death and rebirth is kind of the name of your game in general anyway. You love to transform. It's just kind of second nature to you. So this is like a, like a Phoenix Rising moment, except it's like you're always in a Phoenix Rising moment. But this time, it feels maybe a little bit different. It feels like there's just a breakthrough with Unlearn. Like you've been applying a lot of pressure, is how I feel about it. Like you've been putting a lot of energy towards this rebirth, right? I mean, think about a literal birth takes 9 months to get to that point. So Hierophant, you've been kind of putting in the work. You've been studying all the ways to unstudy. You've been pouring a lot of investment into your personal transformation, looking at your limiting beliefs, understanding what you were told, weighing that against who you feel that you really are, and learning that you are worthy and deserving of taking up space and kind of stepping into a leadership role and kind of not taking anyone's shit. Okay, I'm put in mind of with this, like, I just saw this show, Stiesel, which is on Netflix, and it's about a Jewish Orthodox family in Israel. It's not political. I'm very against people being murdered for no reason, just to clarify in case anyone's interested in that. But that's not what the show is about. I bring up the show because it's a wonderful show, and also just because there's like this beautiful character growth. And I don't want to spoil too much, but it's like someone who struggles to like know what he wants at the beginning goes on this journey, and by the end it's like he knows himself so well that he can't take anyone's shit anymore, and he just instinctively, naturally stands up for himself because it's in his bones now, right? Like, he spent so much time going through that like kind of whole process. It's in the, again, that predictions of growth. It's like your growth is inevitable just because growth is kind of a natural phenomenon, but also because you've been applying so much to this process, right? You've really been tending to yourself, learning about yourself. Maybe you've been meditating a lot. Maybe you've been listening to tarot readings for this type of guidance, and they've led you this far, and now you saw my reading and you're like having this major breakthrough. Kidding. But it is kind of like that, right? Like, you've been seeking and looking and taking it upon yourself to educate yourself about you and who you are and what's true and authentic to you and how you want to be in the world and what you are, what's possible for you. You know, your curiosity has likely led you in a lot of this process. Like, your curiosity of like, there must be something more to my life. Like, I must be meant for something more, and I'm going to find it. And it feels like you are being given that opportunity. And I don't want to say being given in the sense of like someone's bestowing it upon you, but maybe you're taking it up for yourself, right? You're giving yourself that opportunity. You're not waiting for permission anymore, and you're stepping up into your leadership role. Or maybe you're being given the opportunity, as in the universe is bringing these events that are testing you, that are showing you, like, as I was talking about with that character in Stiesel, this guy who starts out really uncertain of himself, really easily pushed around by the authorities in his life. And then by the end, it's like he has no second thoughts, no doubts, no questions about what he needs to do because he's grown so much. So he just naturally leads. And like, leadership doesn't have to necessarily be about leading other people, although it certainly can. It's also like leadership of yourself, leading your own life, being the captain of your own destiny. Not necessarily, again, it feels like a lack of second guessing. Again, this rebirth, these new ideas, kind of just really being in the flow of yourself, like being in alignment with yourself. And like, that's something that's thrown around a lot, like being in alignment with yourself. Like, what does that mean? And I think being in alignment with yourself means like you are just understanding of like what you want, and you're not like apologizing for it anymore. And that can be very silly, right? Like, think about something like food, right? You pretty much know your tastes. Like, you know, like, I know I don't like fish. I just think it's gross. But other people really love fish, obviously. And fish is an easy thing for me to say no to because I know I hate it. And I don't like, there's not like a lot of like emotional baggage around it, right? Like, there's not like a sense of like my identity or like prestige or status or other people's expectations or other people's feelings. Like, that's something very simple for me to know the yes or no to. But something else like a romantic partner, that has a different kind of set of things that we have to start unlearning, right? So maybe there's a person you meet who's just not right for you, but in the past you would be like, oh, well, like, no one else is gonna like me, and this person seems nice, so I should, because, like, I don't want to be alone. Like, just, so there's the distinction, right? Some things in life end up getting confusing, not because they are really that confusing, but because there's all of this, like, clouded, emotional kind of, like, stories and society tells me that if I get to my 30s and I'm alone, then I'm like a, dried up spinster and no one's ever gonna love me, that kind of stuff. And with the unlearn, it just feels like that kind of BS or whatever is not really a part of the equation anymore. Like, being in alignment, meaning I know myself and I know what I want all the ways. Like, not just in the easy scenarios where it's like I know my own taste, but like I know what's right and authentic for me in every situation of my life, because I just know myself. And just because another person would make a different choice doesn't mean that's the right choice for me. So that is something I feel like I'm getting with the unlearn, and that is what it means, I think, to step up into a leadership, taking up space role, where you're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, even if you think so and so, that like me making this choice, like a job, right? Like, or again, a person you're dating, right? Like, alignment meaning I'm able to make clear choices for myself because I know me without all the external blah, blah, blah. Okay, I've gone on about that, so let's move on. We got charm. I just feel that you're very charming. We got curiosity. We got wealth. We got collaboration. So, again, it sort of feels like you have this breakthrough. And the breakthrough is like things aren't actually that complicated in the sense of like they don't need to be, because I know me and I know myself and I know how to like navigate my own preferences, my own desires. I'm the captain of my own ship. I've grown enough to kind of embrace my own inner authority. I'm sitting on top of the world, not necessarily even because I've gone anywhere, but because I've realized like maybe I was always there, right? Like I've like maybe stepped into a deeper sense of self-love, a deeper sense of self-respect, where I'm not so like persuaded by the external, but more about me being authentic to myself, this charm. And I think that really does express this charm, because like the charm is, I suppose, assuming I knew what charm was about, I think it's about the magnetism, oh my god, what the hell's wrong with me? Okay, you get it. It's like you're vibrating, you're vibing, you're cool, you're good with yourself, you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling less confused, you're feeling more clear, you're feeling like you have new ideas about where you can go in your life. And I think you just kind of like honoring yourself on this deeper level and having had this kind of like rebirth of like getting out of the depths, out of the muck, out of the mud, and into like just all of the appreciation. Again, I think this one talked about like, yes, you've been down, yes, you've been like held back, but thinking about how much you've grown and how much you've changed is that charm. Like the charm is the result of you really like just being you and not having to work so hard at it. Like there's like a lack of hard work in this in a really beautiful way, where there's this kind of like effortless ease of just like flow of new ideas, of rebirth. Again, maybe there was a drought and now there's rain and now things can grow, predictions of growth. So even if things are not here yet, like the like beautiful wealth hasn't come, it's like in a way it already has. Like it's kind of like you don't know how or when you're going to be wealthy, but you feel wealthy in the sense of like you're able to appreciate yourself and how far you've come and how much you have to give and how much you have to offer the world and how capable you are leadership and taking up space. And you're just very charming. So it's like this is also just going to come to you naturally like a magnet. Magnetism. Oh my god. And I feel like you're also just drawing in a lot of collaborators. A lot of this does feel like you're becoming a magnet for this type of energy, right? Like people who want to do stuff with you and collaborate and like make things happen. And you're just kind of, there's this abundance, and wealth doesn't necessarily have to be about financial money type of stuff, although it certainly can be, but it's also just like the wealth of like really appreciating all the gifts in your life and all that you have around you and not taking so much for granted anymore. And like the abundance begets more abundance, right? Your charm just attracts things to you. Apprentice of Raindrops, Knight of Cups, it's a water energy and you're a water sign, right? So you're just kind of like stepping like, and also Scorpios are typecast as like a sexual sign, but when you think about like desire and like all that type of stuff. It's really just about like kind of knowing that you are the wealth, like, right? Like that you are it. Like you're it. You know it. Like you're the it girl or the it boy or the it person in the world, and you're sitting on top of the world. And this feels again not like you went anywhere, but you just kind of like realize, oh, it was me the whole time. And like I'm the one who makes things. I'm the one who makes things grow. And like there's going to be I know that I'm going to be growing and that my life's growing and that things are going to be blooming and getting bigger, because that's just kind of like my nature and who I am. It's like kind of natural to me. It's like my true essence is just being someone who's a really good collaborator and who has fun and likes to have fun. And then that brings in more and more of this like new ideas, and I'm curious and open. And so like I don't know necessarily where I'm going, but I know it's going to be beautiful, and I know that I'm going to be on top, because the on top isn't a place, it's a feeling that I embrace and embody and am because of just like literally who I am. Meaning I'm the authority of my own life, and I know who I am, and I'm a leader of my own life. So I'm navigating it, and I trust myself. I trust myself to make all the right choices for me, because why wouldn't I? How hard is it to make the right choices for me? It's easy enough for me to make the right choices for me when it comes to knowing what I like and dislike on simpler matters like music or food or just kind of like movies, right? I know my tastes, but I also can know what's right for me in terms of bigger decisions, like jobs I should take, people I should partner with or not partner with, whether I want to be alone, whether I even want a partnership at all, but whether that matters because I have friends and good collaborators, and we're endeavoring on maybe some new ideas together and seeing where that curiosity leads us. And I know that I am the one kind of watering my own garden and planting it and tending to it. And since I trust myself, and since I'm kind of like embodying my own energy, and I'm like attracting all this wealth to me, wealth meaning like opportunities, abundance, just having enough and having so much that I can give to others, and kind of creating this really just like positive feedback loop. So yeah, I channeled that and it was beautiful, and I love it, Scorpio. And here we are at 22 minutes, and it's a perfect time to just kind of take it in for a landing. Because what more is there to say? Like, you got this. You don't need me to tell you that you got this, because you know that you got this, because you did it. You did it, apparently. Beautiful. And what else? Oh yeah, if you like this, like and subscribe. Also, I have a little daily tarot thing I do on Instagram, so you can check that out. The link is below. And then I'm going to be expanding this a little bit more, so more is to come. So, but to start out, like and subscribe and say nice things to me, please, if you are so inclined, because obviously I appreciate it, and I love you, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.